And we are on.
All right, man. So that brings us to the second quarter of the Dr. GM NBA recap show.
Mm-hmm.
As I said at the start of our show tonight, the East is usually what we cover in the second quarter. We got 12 minutes to break down 1 through how many ever teams we get to. Revisiting the top spot this week is, I guess I should say, are the Toronto Raptors. Last couple of weeks, I know one for sure, if not two, was being held down by Milwaukee.
Right.
But it's been reclaimed, the top spot has been reclaimed by the Toronto Raptors. Your thoughts, sir?
No surprise. They're good.
Mm-hmm.
They got, but they're 4-game winning streak. Kawhi's been playing MVP-like ball. They're deep. They're good. They're gonna be good. So no surprise with that one for me.
No, not for me either, because I had them coming out of the East, I should say.
Right.
So definitely not going to be a surprise.
Right.
Description of the situation.
Best record in the league at this point. So yeah, they're doing the thing.
Same. I've been calling them the class of the league, but we'll see. Still, like I say, still got a long way to go. And I was doing that at the quarter mark.
Mm-hmm.
They still had the best record at the halfway point. So
yeah.
I'll figure this basketball thing out sooner or later, man, as far as being a fan and observing. But then number 2, we have that Milwaukee still playing pretty good ball. They're playing as good a ball as Toronto's playing.
Mm-hmm.
7-3 in their last 10 record-wise. Greek Freak's playing out of his mind. I asked that question that's being tossed about in sports talk and barbershop talk about who's the best of all time and things like that. It wasn't asked if he was the best of all time, but he was asked, was he the best in the league?
Mm-hmm.
And his thoughts were, I'm not on that right now. I'm trying to get better myself, and I'm trying to get our team some wins. And maybe one day I'll have time to think about that or become that, but that's not my mindset right now.
Right.
So I did like that about him. The rest of his team's playing well. Your thoughts on Milwaukee?
They're good.
Mm-hmm.
Greek Freak is a freak. I think the stat I like about them, because it's always a telling stat, is point differential. They lead the league in point differential with 9.1 points per game plus 9.1. So they're blowing teams out on the nightly, basically. So yeah, and that's always a telling stat about who's going to perform well in the playoffs. So it's a good look for them, and they are dangerous.
All right, so in that third spot brings a team that most had in the playoffs, maybe not as high, not even maybe, for sure not as high as they had been or as they are, but they've been holding down this little area, that 3-4 spot, pretty much all season. Is a hotter team than the 2 teams we just spoke of.
Mm-hmm.
Is the 8-2 in the last 10 Indiana Pacers. Those guys are hooping. Your thoughts on them in that third spot?
They're good. They're obviously based on their record alone, but like just the way they play. If you watch them play, like they play good team ball. Victor Oladipo is a beast. He really is. Definitely all-star caliber. But he does a lot for them, really on both sides of the ball. But his playmaking is kind of unique in that he is by far their best player. But the way he gets out there and gets everybody involved really becomes contagious for them. And they play well and they feed off of that. So they're good. They're fun to watch.
Well, by good, they have if they were in the West,
mm-hmm.
They'd be around the number 1 spot because they have as many wins as as Denver and Golden State.
Right.
So I think they're better than good. At the third spot, they've been doing it. They have a lot of players that many the casual fans don't know about.
Right.
They have a team. They have a coach that has played in the finals, NBA finals as a player. Coached for a long time in this league, and he seems to be have that team playing very good basketball, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Because some of this was without quote unquote their best player,
Right.
and so
He missed 11 games. Victor Oladipo
and
did.
they did not miss a half a beat during that time.
No, they were rolling off wins.
All right. So, anyways,
And shout out real quick to Domantas Sabonis, man. He's a 6-man candidate for me. He's been balling too. So
yeah.
carry on.
All right. So then in that 4 spot, so that basically means we've lost a spot would be the Philadelphia 76ers.
Right.
They are on some up and down as usual. Let's see what's their last 10. 6-4. So I mean that's not going to win the world title for you, but at that clip.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean it's not terrible either.
No, it'll keep you at that spot where you are.
Yeah, but someone could creep up if someone got hot.
For sure.
8-2 is going to be better than 6-4, especially over a couple 10-game stretches. So they got to figure out a bunch of things. I think. What are your thoughts on Philly?
I hate to have to say this, but Jimmy may be a morale killer in locker rooms. Like they just haven't seemed right since he got there. I mean, they win because they got enough talent. They're good. But I don't know. The vibe is a little different, and it's been a little different. So I hope that's not the case. I hope it's just growing pains is what I'm hoping it is. But yeah, it's a different vibe right now in Philly.
Well, I watch Philly a lot, as I've said many times, and I'm not going to take the average take that it's not even the average take. It's pretty much the standard take of Jimmy is what basically the take you just took, that he could be a locker room killer. Because I'm going to take the take that in all 3 situations, Chicago, Minnesota, and now in
Philly. Mm-hmm.
He's right. Yeah, Hoiberg and
Agreed.
So,
but
now,
there are diplomatic ways to be right. That brings people together as opposed to creating kind of a wedge between people.
I understand that, but everybody doesn't butter their bread the same way. So,
yeah, absolutely.
He may not have that, but now as to the tune of they haven't been right. They were suspect before he came. Not so much suspect. Mm-hmm. They were right there where 3-4 before he came. They climbed up as high as I think 3 for sure. Yeah, they never got above Milwaukee.
Right.
And basically, they're up and down. And they've had Jimmy sit out a few games. Mm-hmm. Joel has sit out a few games. So, I think they also tough one last night. Well, not so much tough one, like a heartbreaker. Yeah. But it's definitely one that they shouldn't have lost to an Atlanta team.
Yeah.
Joel didn't play, but still, I think
they
should have won that game. But like I said,
see, like stuff like that, man, they can't do that. And shout out to my Hawks, going bear hunting last night and getting a big win. But good teams shouldn't necessarily lose to my Hawks right now.
5 is Boston. Your thoughts on Boston as the quarter dwindles?
Just thoughts on Boston. They are who I thought they would be. A deep, strong team. They're on a quick losing streak right now. They've lost 2, but they've looked better. They've been one of the hottest teams here in this second quarter of the season. They've been one of the hotter teams. So I think they're going to be dangerous come playoff time.
Well, I think that my take on the situation at the beginning of the season is still spot on, and that there's too much talent there. That, as you mentioned, they're on a 2-game losing streak. They lost tonight. And
Orlando got them.
At the end of the game, it was noted that Kyrie was not very fond of a one Gordon Hayward at the end of the game, and that showed. And so we'll see how it turns out. So like you say, they thought who you thought they were,
and who you thought they were too,
which was the top of the East, and I definitely think they're who I thought they were. All right, so then number 7 would be Miami.
Number 6, Miami. Yeah, can't say I'm surprised.
6 Miami, excuse me.
Yeah, I can't say I'm surprised. Miami was.
Yeah, I definitely had them in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, I won't say that.
I had them in the playoffs at the beginning of the season.
Did you?
I'll say that.
Okay. I said those last 3 were kind of up for grabs, and Miami was definitely one of the teams.
Number 7 is Brooklyn.
Brooklyn's in the house again. They've been bobbling up and down here too, but they're hanging around. 2 games under 500. So I guess that gets you in the playoffs in the East.
Definitely not your
man. Matter of fact, Charlotte at number 8 is 19-22. So that's what's popping in the East. Sub 500 teams, 2 of them in the playoffs. Man, top heavy.
Yeah, for sure. It proves that they're top heavy. People have been saying that for a while. And like I said, having the best record and some of the worst records.
Right. Check that out.
Kind of proves that out. So, but anyways, what I was going to say with Brooklyn, they're definitely not the Nets of even 12 months ago, for sure.
Yeah.
Where you definitely go in there and get a win. And now you're going to be very, very, very happy if you go into that building and come out with a win. And you better place the ball when they come to your building, too, because they might get you.
Yeah.
But, and then the Hornets, I think they are who we thought they were. Not much talent, but they're going to try.
Right, they're going to try. And there you go.
Weaker East at the bottom.
And they got a Kemba. He's good. So he'll get some W's.
All right, so that's second quarter.
All right, well, that's a wrap.